Welcome guys. So in this lecture I will show how to handle frames in Cypress. So basically Cypress have no support for frames till last version. So they have recently rolled out frame support. So now you can start working on frames using Cypress. Okay, earlier people used to say that's a disadvantage that Cypress cannot support, but thanks to their development team that it's available now for us to automate. So first of all, what are frames if you are not already aware of that terminology? Okay, so let me go to my practice project. So you can go to practice projects in rahulshettyacademy.com. There are different websites where you have to practice for your Selenium, Protractor and Cypress automation. So let me select the second one. So yeah, so this is the page we are working, right? So if you scroll down here, you would see one frame. So frame is nothing but a HTML document which is embedded on another HTML document. Okay, so here this is the parent HTML. So on this HTML, we are embedding home page of rahulshettyacademy.com. So that means a HTML document on top of another HTML document, we would say that as a frame. So we will wrap that mini HTML document embedded one as a frame, right? So now when you select this mentorship here, if you want to do it using Cypress, you just cannot directly come to this page and click on this mentorship link, because this is mini HTML document which is embedded in frames. So you have to do in one mechanism to make Cypress understand that whatever operations we are now performing are not part of this HTML document. So these are part of frames. Okay, so that knowledge first you have to give to Cypress to switch to frames, and then Cypress will have knowledge about this document and then it will be able to identify it. Okay, so you will rarely see this in real time, but whenever you see something like a frame embedded in your HTML, yes, then you should handle in a special case using Cypress, which is not possible in straightforward manner. So let me explain you how to do that. So first of all, to have that, you have to get one plugin. Right. So you need to install one plugin. Make sure you are in the project level where npm node modules are present. Okay. So from there you can say npm install -d Cypress iframe. So this is the command you have to provide so that it will install this plugin so that your Cypress will be able to detect iframe code in your test. So I already have in my machine, but I'm still doing it so that you will know what command you have to give to install that. You see that we have successfully updated one package, and now your Cypress have knowledge of handling iframes, right? So thereafter you have to import it. I have already done here. So this is the package we just installed, right? Cypress -iframe. So make sure you import that specific package. The same name, whatever you provided here, you just provide here and say import. Okay. And we are using this two lines so that auto suggestion will be available here. So there are some iframe methods which will not available by default. If you write this step in your test case so that IntelliJ, sorry, this is Visual Code, VS Code, right? So VS Code will provide auto suggestion. When you say cy dot, it will show up all iframe methods. Okay, you can download and get this code from this lecture if you want to directly copy it from my code. All right, now, so let us do one simple scenario here. I will actually go to this page as usual. Once I land on this page, then I have to get inside this frame. By default, you will be on the home page of rahulshettyacademy.com. Right, so by default you will be on home page. So you should be able to select this mentorship link Okay, so you should select this page, and then in this page let's have any validation, right? So that is what we need to achieve. So try to do in straightforward manner, you will run into issues, and now I will explain how to handle, just because this is in frames. So cy dot visit, just give the URL what you are landing on. All right. Now, so first of all, you should know the frame ID. So right click anywhere here, right click and inspect. And if you see the HTML properties of it, you would see something called frame. You see that entire this HTML document, when I move my cursor here, everything is being highlighted. So that entire rahulshettyacademy.com is the HTML document. So that is embedded as a frame, and we have frame ID here. So using this, we will tell our Cypress to switch your focus to the frame, so that when you do any find element or get me that locator, Cypress will look only inside this frame, as you are asking explicitly to switch your focus. Okay, so our first step is to load this frame into Cypress object. So copy this ID, and so there is a method called cy.frameLoaded. You see that this is the method. So this method will get enabled only if you write the second step, references type Cypress iframe, and if you import that Cypress iframe, you will see this method. And inside this, you have to give the CSS to identify that frame uniquely. So we have ID, right? So if we have ID, then it's easy for us to write CSS. Just put hash and give the ID name. That's it. So with this, your Cypress object will get knowledge about that frame, and it is loaded into the Cypress object. Now, once we give that knowledge, now if we say cy.iframe, so we are telling to Cypress to switch to iframe mode. So whenever it switches to iframe mode, it will see what are the frames loaded in my object. As we are loading this frame, so whenever it switches, so automatically it knows that whatever subsequent actions are being performed, I should be able to perform in this HTML doc, because this is the ID, right? So that's how you tell by giving cy.iframe, right? Now, let's say you want to, by default, you will land on this page and you need to click on mentorship. So let me do one thing. Instead of grabbing this, so this is rahulshettyacademy.com URL, right? So I will directly go to that page. Let me show you. And we can spy the objects here. Or you can do directly here as well, mentorship, right? So if you see here, you have href attribute to identify the object. Same thing, you can get it from here if you want to see it in clear manner. The same HTML is rendered there. So whatever you get it here will be applicable there as well. Okay, let me open CrowPath and I'll write CSS for this. href star. I'm using regular expression and mentorship. Perfect. So there are totally 7 elements matching. So but we need only this one, right? So move the cursor onto the first element. You see that it's highlighting red. So red dotted. So when you move your cursor, it's clearly saying red dotted at the style. Keep an eye on that. And that red dotted is highlighting on the screen as well on mentorship. So that means our desired result is present in the first index, right? So we need not worry about all remaining elements. So indexes generally start with 0, right? If there are 7 elements, in 0 index, first element will get stored. So our desired element is present in the 0th index only. So keeping that in mind, I would simply write one step. So after you switch to iframe, this is mandatory. If you are working on frames, so make sure first you switch to cy.iframe and load it. On top over it, you have to use find locator to find whatever CSS you have. So the CSS what we have is this. Okay, right, but it is returning total 7 results, right? Out of 7, if you want to access the index, then you know that there is a method called .eq which will help you to retrieve based upon the index. You see that eq method, index you need to pass. So our desired one is just present in the 0th index only. So dot click, right? So this step will actually go and select mentorship in this HTML document so that you will land on this page. Okay, so let me run this just to see if you are going through it. Thereafter, let me put one more validation so that way you will know how to handle frames. Okay, so I'll save this file and I'll go back to test runner and say demo.js. Alright, so it's trying to hit that URL. It's still loading. And then that's it, it's done. You see that it's very quick. It scrolled down and it clicked on mentorship so that you landed on mentorship page. You see that all the operations are successfully performed. But here, if you carefully observe, you may not be able to see screenshot because this is another HTML which is embedded. So that's why Cypress is not able to show that. But it's clearly saying that you are on iframe. Okay, and that's how you can navigate to that page. Let me put one more validation here. So once you land on that page in your iframe, so let us say you want to know how many packages you have. So we have 2 packages in mentorship, bronze and platinum. Okay, so if you want to get that count of number of packages, so select this and you have something called pricing hyphen title for bronze, and for platinum also you have same pricing hyphen title. So to get the count of packages present in mentorship, you can simply write a CSS which says tag name h1, class I would give regular expression and just mention pricing hyphen title, enter. Yeah, it's not able to see here because this is in iframe, so directly try on the web page. Okay, you are trying to see the object here, but this crowpath plugin is not able to identify the elements which are present inside the frame. So for that reason, just go to this page directly on the web page. So this is the page it's being rendering, right? Now if you want to get that object and check in crowpath, check it here. Perfect. You see that 2 elements it is matching. One is bronze and one is platinum. So here crowpath is also not able to identify. When I hit enter in our main page where frames are present, it's searching in the main HTML but not inside the frames. So that's the problem. Even Cypress can't do it. That's why we were doing all this frame loaded and iframe dot to make it work by switching to frames. Alright, so it returning 2 elements. Let me put that condition through the code. I want to make sure that packages what I am offering as a mentorship is only 2. If that is my test case, cy dot, again that mentorship page is still in frames only, right? So obviously you are clicking this link and validating this which is inside still frame. So you have to give iframe only again. First you have to give this cy.iframe, then only your Cypress will know that whatever I am searching is in frames. So inside find, you need to fire that find query and you got that CSS. We just wrote that, right? Now you can put assertion like should have dot length. I'm just checking the length. If the count of the packages what I have is 2. That's all I want to do. Alright, that's it. Save this file and go back to your Cypress test runner. What happened? Okay, it's running again. Let's see. Perfect. It clicked on mentorship and you see that your test is passed. It has successfully validated that length matches 2, right? And no issues. As I said, you won't see screenshot because here that is in frames. Alright, so this is how you can work in frames. So until unless you are in frames, make sure that you always give this command in the beginning. So if you don't give this, again Cypress assumes that you are in the normal web page like this, not on the frames. Okay, make sure you provide this initially if you are working in frames. But before you work, first load that frame to and give that knowledge to object and then switch. Right? So this is the concept and this is how you can work with frames using Cypress. So that's all I have, guys. Thank you.